What's good, everyone? gilbertblaze is back with another video. Alright, so on to my topic, women's wrestling. Now, it's no surprise, anyone that knows me knows, I'm a huge fan of women's wrestling. Real women's wrestling. So, after seeing Awesome Kong versus Gail at Final Resolution, I gotta say, that match was by far the best women's match I've seen in America in the past 2 or 3 years. I mean, it was great. Non-stop action, crowd brawling. The fans was really into it. I mean, you got like usually with like people in terms of women's wrestling, people don't really care about it. But as you see in the crowd, they were so hyped up, they were so animated, they were really into this match, and that made me proud because it shows that if women get a chance to actually wrestle and do their thing, the crowd will respond to it. So I was happy to see that, and you know, their whole build-up was great. They've been having such a great build-up, and you know, Gail Kim's aggressiveness, I really enjoyed that. For someone her size to go up against someone Awesome Kong's size, she really took the fight to her, and I'm really proud of her. You know, it's been a great feud. The match was well booked. The ending was really good. I like the ending. I know some people kind of thought the ending was not that good, but I enjoyed the ending because it made sense to me. Now they're gonna have a rematch at Impact, and I definitely see Gail Kim losing this match. You know, it's obvious that Awesome Kong is going to win the title soon. She might win it this week in the rematch, so I'm looking forward to this feud. I've really been enjoying it, and it's really good to see a real women's feud and seeing people hyped up in it. You know, without a doubt, TNA women's division has been the best thing going for them since it started. Like about a month ago or 2 months ago. It's been great. It kind of feels like when the X Division first started in TNA, and it was like getting so much hype, and then like people was all into it. That's how I feel about the women's division in TNA. People are really into this division. They got some really good wrestlers. They got people like mixing well with each other. ODB is getting really popular. Looking forward to see her getting a title shot down the line. So it's been really good. You know, it's been really good. Now onto the flip side, the WWE women's division. You know, I wasn't surprised at all when I saw Raw and they had the whole Raw Roulette show. I was not surprised to see a lingerie pillow fight because if you notice, every time they had a Raw Roulette show, they've always had lingerie pillow fights. So you would think after a match between Gail Kim and Awesome Kong, and WWE had to take notice of that. You would have thought that they would have probably had a really good women's match planned, and sure enough, they didn't. Now in the past, I would say month or two, we've seen a few women's matches, like the 2 out of 3 falls match with Beth Phoenix and Candice Michelle. We haven't seen that in the WWE in a long time. Then we had a triple threat women's match for the women's title. We haven't seen that in the WWE in a long time. So I thought maybe WWE was taking notice of the Knockouts division in TNA, and they probably wanted to say, well, you know what, our women can wrestle too, our women can go at it too. You know, they got Beth Phoenix, who's an amazing wrestler. Mickey James is great. Victoria, everyone knows about Victoria. Jillian Hall is a good wrestler. You know, she hasn't really been showing it that much, but if you go to YouTube and click on OVW and see her matches in OVW, you're going to see Jillian Hall is a really good wrestler. And then you got your Playboy models that we don't need to talk about. But they got some actually good women's wrestlers in the WWE, but they're just not being utilized right. You know, WWE always had this up and down, you know, slope in terms of women's wrestling. Back in like 2001, 2002, you know, they had like Jacqueline, Ivory, Tori, not Tori Wilson, Tori, Trish, Lita. They had like Jazz, Lydia. Yeah, all these girls that can actually wrestle. And then you had your TNA girls like the Cat and Terry and Deborah. You know, but they had good feuds. You know, they had really good feuds. They had a women's wrestling feud, and then they had your TNA feuds. And they work well together, but right now with Vince doesn't care about women's wrestling. He never has, he never will. You know, right now he just sees Playboy models, and that's what he wants. Sex sells, sex will always sell in the WWE. I don't care what anyone tells me. Women's wrestling is just strictly entertainment in the WWE now. It's not meant to be taken serious. So that to me pisses me off, and I know that's not going to ever change because Vince just doesn't give a shit about women's wrestling. So I'm just hoping, I'm really hoping with TNA that they don't fuck up this women's division, because TNA, you know, I like TNA, but they have their problems, and right now the women's division has been going really well for them. So I'm hoping down the line it doesn't get fucked up. But as of now, WWE, I don't even like watch them. Like, if I want to see women's wrestling, I'm not going to turn to WWE because I know I'm not going to get it there. I'm going to get it in TNA. So in terms of women's wrestling, TNA is where it's happening right now. Now you got promotions like Shimmer. Shimmer is an excellent women's wrestling promotion, but they don't get a lot of, advertisement. Not a lot of people know about Shimmer. I wish they had a TV deal. They need a TV deal because they are great. People want to talk about ROH, and ROH deserves a TV deal, yes. But Shimmer deserves a TV deal as well because they are amazing. They got some really good women's wrestlers there. Girls that are kicking butt, actually ring technicians, high flyers, you name it. And it's in Shimmer right now. Shimmer's awesome. And I'm hoping that, TNA would get some Shimmer girls. They had Roxy Laveau, and they also got, Robert Roo's #1 fan in the audience. She's from Shimmer as well. So they got a couple of girls going to TNA right now, which is good, so they can get noticed. But WWE, don't expect any girl from Shimmer going to WWE because they don't look like Playboy models. They ain't going to get a shot. And that's a shame because, WWE really pisses me off. It goes back to Luna Vachon was there. She wanted to be a WWF Women's Champion really badly, and Vince never gave her the title, and she deserved the title so fucking badly, and they never gave her the title. But they want to give it to Sable and Deborah and the Cat and all these other stupid girls, But they never gave Luna Vachon the chance to be the Women's Champion. That really pisses me off, man. But I just wanted to say that, I was really happy with Gail Kim and Awesome Kong. I knew that was going to be the match of the night. I knew that was the match of the pay-per-view. I didn't expect anything less from them. They went out there, they beat the shit out of each other. They gave a good performance. And most importantly, the crowd dug it. They were into it and they liked it. And for that just goes to show you that people actually do care about women's wrestling when women are given a chance to actually wrestle. So that's all I wanted to say. I'm interested in hearing everybody else's thoughts about it. Women's wrestling, I know it's not that popular in America, but if you go to Japan and Mexico, it just kicks ass, People take women's wrestling so seriously in Japan and Mexico because they deserve that respect. But here in America, women's wrestling has always been up and down, up and down, up and down. I know I might take a lot of criticism for this, but back in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a women's wrestling show called Glow, Glories and Ladies of Wrestling. Now, I know it wasn't really good wrestling, it was very crappy, but that really got me into women's wrestling. I love the shows. I bought all the DVDs recently. It's just fun, it's campy, but it had showcased women athletes or women in a sense in the ring, and that kind of got me into women's wrestling at first. And then when I saw real women's wrestling, I'm like, wow, okay, I really love women's wrestling. By far, my all-time favorite women's wrestler is Medusa. I love Medusa. Everyone might know her in the WWF as Alondra Blaze, but she was in WCW as well. She also wrestled in Japan. She was amazing, and I love Medusa, I love Sherry Martel, Luna Vachon, Ivory, even Molly Holly, Gail Kim, always been a good favorite of mine. But women wrestlers like that, there are actually good women out there that can actually compete and wrestle just like the men. And nowadays, especially in WWE, you're not going to really get that kind of women quality matches in WWE. But I see now in TNA, I'm really happy for TNA to have finally make a women's division. They waited a long time for it, and it's been working out well for them. People are responding to this division, and I'm really glad to see that. So that's what I wanted to say. Interested in hearing people's thoughts about women's wrestling. So get back to me and tell me what you think. Later, folks.